Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. In this series of I&E, in this video, I'm going to talk about funding of startups. How startups get their funds, how they are supported by external forces, and that help them grow the startup. Okay, so we will talk about that. What are the different sources of funding? What are the different types of funding? Okay, and accelerator, incubator, and all these terms. So please watch this video to understand different concepts. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and join the Telegram group. First term, let us talk about accelerator and incubator. So these are similar sounding terms, but they have different meanings. So what happens in case of accelerator is they basically they help in accelerating a startup, right? So let us say if there is a startup which is running, okay, and it's a very nascent stage, right, and it does not have much resources. So the accelerator is an organization or maybe some part of some company which will be given mentorship. They will be given space to work, office space, and sometimes seed capital. Seed capital is a source of funding. Okay, so they will be given funding. They will be given mentorship by the members, and they will be given space to work. In incubator, it helps firms to grow a startup from an early stage idea to a company that can stand on its own. So it is basically when the idea is very early stage. In this, the startups have already started. So this is for a short duration, maybe for a few months. Okay, so that they can increase, and this is for a longer period, slightly longer period. And the thing is where in this case only the stage is there, the execution part has not started. But in case of accelerator, the execution has started, but there are shortage of funds, right, office space, etc. Now in accelerator they will usually take equity, right? They will give some funding. Okay, they will give some funding and ask for some equity in return, and these do not ask for equity. Now these are usually private firms, and incubators are basically non-profit organizations, non-profit, or it could be by government. So there is Atal Incubation Center, so do read about that as well. And in the next video where I talk about government initiatives, I'll talk about Atal Incubation. Okay, so these are available in some institutions as well. Like you must have heard of like top IITs, IIMs, they have incubation centers. So they promote entrepreneurship. So incubator, the purpose is to promote entrepreneurship, and especially in technology and all such fields. Now next thing, let us understand how a company is financed. So there are two ways. One is equity, one is debt. In equity, what happens is you sell a portion of the company to the investors in exchange for capital. So you take money and you give them a stake in the company. Like you do questions on partnership, right? A person invested so and so money and got. So that is hypothetical thing. I mean, you take those actual values, but it does not happen that way. Let us say you must have watched Shark Tank India, right? So they gave investment and they ask for equity. They say that we want so and so percent share in the company. So in this you get a share, the person gets a share, and they become shareholders of the company. So they are entitled to share of profits, and in they also get the company's decision making processes. So they will mentor the company, and they will get a share in the company. Now, debt is another kind of financing, in which debt is basically you borrow money or you take a loan. Okay, so debt is a loan, it is not a loan. So, equity you do not have to pay back. So, loan is you have to pay amount with interest. Okay, so you have to pay interest in this, and in this, you do not have to pay anything, right? Now both have its own advantages and disadvantages. So if the company fails, I mean, of course you will have a loss that your company fails. You do not have to repay that equity amount, but in case of debt you will have to regularly pay interest. Okay, so that is the disadvantage that you have to regularly pay interest. It is kind of a loan. Debt is simply loan. Equity is you have to give share to the investor. Now what is the disadvantage? Like, advantage is that if you fail you do not have to pay anything, but the disadvantage is you have to share your profit. Okay, so in case your company becomes very large, the profit that you would have been getting will go to the investor also. Let us say you give 5% stake to the investor and your company becomes of 100 crores. Okay, so 5% of 100 crores is 5 crores. So you would have earned that 5 crore, but that will go to the investor. So equity gives that ownership thing, and in debt you have loan part. Bootstrapping means, in case a startup does not take money from anywhere, right? A person uses his own money, a person or a group of people, they use their own money. That is called a bootstrapped company. Okay, so the question might be asked, what is bootstrap? So that means zero funding. If you start something on your own using your own capital, that is called bootstrap. Then let us talk about different early forms of funding. One is crowdfunding, angel investor, and venture capital. Crowdfunding is, as you can see, from crowd. Basically, you pool from multiple people. Now, how do you get from multiple people? Is, let us say you have a network of people, right? Or you create a social media post, right? Now crowdfunding could be from, there are two kinds of basically crowdfunding. One is basically, if you take, or I would say three kinds, right? One could be like, if it is a donation. Donation will be in case of NGO. Let us say you are making an NGO or non-profit organization. So you can ask for donation, right? Let's say you are a celebrity or you have a good network. For crowdfunding, you need a good network. So you want to raise funds, you can ask people to donate for your company. Okay. Second is basically your the same things, the debt and equity things. Okay. So you take loan from multiple people. So let us say you have a network of friends, right? Let us say you have to start a company, you need 50 lakh rupees. Okay, so you can take loan from different people. Okay, you take loan from 20 people. Some people paid 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs. That way you start a company. Okay, and another could be equity. You take loan from multiple people and give them some share in the company. Now, how it is different from investor is, crowdfunding means there are multiple people who are funding money. Okay, not one, two. Like it could be five people, 10 people, 20, maybe even 50 people. Okay, so that is called crowdfunding. Then angel investor and venture capitalist. What is an angel investor? An angel investor is a high net worth individual, okay, who invest his or her own money in a company. Okay, so high net worth individuals. So they invest money in exchange of equity. So let us say there are celebrities, there are big businessmen, right? These invest money in different companies. So you must have heard that, like Shilpa Shetty, she invested in this Mama Earth, right? Katrina Kaif had invested in Nykaa. So they invest at a very early stage. And there are a lot of other like cricketers and all, they keep investing in companies. So those are called angel investors, right? They give you money. Sometimes they help you in like they might provide mentorship, business advice, and give access to professional networks. So angel investor is an individual, right? So remember that there's an individual and they put own money. Okay, they put own money into a business. That is called an angel investor. Second is venture capitalist. Venture capitalist is basically is a professional investor, but that person does not put his own money, right? They belong to an investment firm. So these are called VC firms, venture capitalist firms. So a person from a venture capitalist firm, right? That person invests money in uh, a startup, right? Now, the difference is like there the person is investing his own money. Here they have a firm, venture capitalist firm, that is invested in these companies. Okay, now there is a slight difference between angel investor and venture capitalist. Angel investor invests money, says that you give me return. Okay, and they will give you some mentorship, etc. But in venture capitalist, what happens is they sit on the board of directors. Okay. So they have decision making process also in the company. So if they have to take some strategic decisions, there will be some member or the venture capitalist who have invested, they will sit in the board of directors. Whereas in case of angel investor, they usually do not sit in the board of directors. They just say, "Ki, we want our return back. You do all your thing, you make strategic decisions, you run the business, etc." They might provide some mentorship, access to networks, but venture capitalists will say that I will give money, I will give mentorship, I will be in the board of directors. Okay, so you must have seen sometimes people are removed from their own company because there are other members in the board of directors. Okay, so that is the case of venture capitalist. Now there are different stages of funding. Okay, so let us talk about these stages. So first is seed funding. It is the first official equity funding stage. So the first official funding that you get is called seed funding. Okay, that's a very beginning stage. So it is a very small amount. Small amount means that depends on the business to business. Okay, then series funding is series A funding. Once a business has developed a track record, the company may opt for Series A funding in order to further optimize its user base and product offerings. So let us say a company started with some money, they took some seed funding. Now the company has grown. Now they want to expand the team. They have to launch new products. So they will ask for more funding. So that is called Series A funding. Now Series B funding is like again, if you have to further grow the company, the next round of funding that they get is series B funding. Okay, so like it is like you have to spend on marketing, sales, team building, tech support, etc. You go for series B funding. Series C funding is the third stage, like the ultimate stage where you get a very large amount of funding and you expand into new markets. You might even acquire new companies. Okay, so that is called Series C funding. Now, there is no defined number that how much funding is given in which stage. So, just taking an example, let us say seed funding you got of, let us say, 1 crore. You just started a company, you got a seed funding of 1 crore from someone, right? They said that, okay, you can start your company. Now the company is growing, right? You need to build a new office, or you have to source new raw materials. So you might give for series A funding. So you might get, let us say, 10 crore. Just a hypothetical example. There is no such number that 10 crores you need, 5 crores you need, 50 crores you need. Now you have grown the company. Now you go for series B funding. So they say that, okay, we will give you 60 crores to expand further. Okay, then you have expanded a lot, and then you further need more funding. So maybe you get 200 crores, that is series C funding. So every stage is higher than the previous stage. In what ratio? No such definition. 5 times भी हो सकता है, 10 times भी हो सकता है, right? 2 times भी हो सकता है. So there is no such defined ratio. Just through some hypothetical example, I have given these names, numbers. So each funding is higher than the previous funding, and it is for further increasing the business. ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफिशियल दिस फंडिंग इज कॉल्ड सीड फंडिंग, एंड वंस द बिजनेस हैज ग्रोन, ठीक है, ये तभी मिलती है जब बिजनेस में कुछ रिवेन्यू आ रहा है. सीड फंडिंग स्टार्टिंग में मिल सकती है. ठीक है, आपने बिजनेस में कुछ नहीं किया, जीरो पैसा अर्न हो रहा है, ठीक है, जीरो इनकम हो रही है, बट सीड फंडिंग कैन बी ऑब्टेन्ड दैट टाइम. बट सीरीज ए फंडिंग विल बी ऑब्टेन्ड ओनली व्हेन you have done some track record, you are earning revenue, right? You have user base, राइट, यू हैव सर्टेन थिंग्स रनिंग की ऐप चल रही है, यूजर्स आ रहे हैं, पेमेंट हो रहा है, तो उसके बाद ही मिलेगी, स्टार्टिंग में नहीं मिलेगी. सो दैट इज द डिफरेंस. So I hope you found this video useful. You got to know how startups get funding, what are the different kinds of fundings, angel investor versus venture capitalist, understood the differences between them, what is debt and equity, etc. So continue watching this series for more videos on I&E. Okay, so that you will get a good understanding of what are different terminologies and what kind of questions you can expect in the examination. If you are preparing for CAT or know someone who is preparing for CAT, you can enroll in my course. Today is the last day to avail this discount. So you can use the code to avail discount on my CAT course. So thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.